Welcome to class. My name is Selena Garofino. If you are enjoying these classes, I would invite you to join my YouTube membership. It helps me stay in the studio creating this content and classes for you. If you are keen to deepen your relationship with yoga, I invite you to join my Yoga Alliance accredited, self-paced, virtual, own forever yoga teacher training for just $4.99. This program includes bi-weekly calls with me and a special monthly event. Whether you want to teach yoga or you just want to explore the richness of this practice, you're welcome and you're invited. Also, you're flexible enough. If you are keen to study with me in person or live streaming, I offer 200, 300, and 500-hour trainings online and around the world in select locations. I also lead transformative retreats in the most spectacular places, and you are welcome to join with the discount code YouTube. Today is a short reset restorative-ish practice. I would say it's kind of like extreme restorative. You definitely need a couple of blocks and maybe even a couple blankets for support or towels. We're actually going to begin right away on our backs with 2 blocks for a supported bridge pose. So you're going to put the blocks on their highest height, what I like to call New York City height. You're going to lift up your hips and slide those 2 blocks right underneath of your sacrum. And if you wish, you can strap your thighs so you can feel even more contained and supported here. And then just drop in to the sensation in the body. And if your inner space is challenging today, it feels a little too scary or anxious in there, keeping your eyes open but with a soft gaze can help you to not get overwhelmed by that inner landscape. The truth is, when things get really quiet and when our eyes are closed, sometimes our inner conditioning gets really loud. So if you were anxious, now you're even more aware that you're anxious. So it can be helpful not to force yourself into that type of meditative state, but instead to kind of broaden your vision. So if that's you today, or you just really need to reset the nervous system, I want you to keep your eyes softly open. And as you're resting here in the bridge pose now, take your vision straight up to the sky and then lift the gaze about 30 degrees above that point. And I want you to stare at a point on the ceiling so intensely that everything around the point is becoming blurry. Be aware of sensations in the body as you fix your gaze on this point. You'll notice everything above and below it is getting blurry as the point comes into sharper focus. Now, if there is anything you can name that you'd like to put out of your space for a while, the space of the body, the mind, the heart, I want you to imagine now that you are putting it on that spot on the ceiling. So you are focusing on the spot on the ceiling. Everything above and below it is getting blurry. And whatever that feeling is, that thought, that problem, it is right on the spot. And now continuing to breathe deeply, aware of the body, I want you to start to, without moving your eyes, expand your peripheral vision. So letting the spot start to become a little blurry and the vision widening around the room. Even though you're not moving your eyes, you might even take your fingers and kind of wiggle them by your head for a moment, seeing how far around yourself you can see without moving your eyes. Breathing deeply, I want you to keep all of the positive learnings from whatever it is you put on the spot. Keep all of the positive learnings, but allow yourself to move from that place to a new place. And this isn't to be answered, but I would ask you, how is that even a problem for you now? Just breathing and expanding the peripheral vision. Spot is nice and blurry. When that feels really spacious, I want you to take your hands up by your ears and just snap your fingers. And then take a nice deep breath and just notice any little shift in state. Really good. Another couple breaths here. Now walk your feet closer to your hands, and this can be a little bit uncomfortable, but we won't be here too long and it's super nourishing. So walk the feet in as close as you can to the blocks, and then you're going to come right on the tops of the feet, on the tops of the toes. Just for a couple breaths, throw the knees forward, just sort of opening up the top of the foot. It's good we're nice and calm before we do this. One more big breath. Good, and then uncurl those toes once again and take your legs up to the sky. And you can hold the blocks if that feels a little scary or unstable to you, letting your legs almost sort of float towards the ceiling. The femur bone is really descending into the pelvis. And as much as you can, keep just returning to the sensations in the body and the rhythm of your breath. So it's sort of like you're using the breath to sweep away whatever difficulties you brought to the mat today, whatever interesting ideas you showed up on the mat with that you need to let go of so that you can move forward in potent ways. A couple more breaths here. Really nice. And then slowly drop one foot to the floor and then the other foot to the floor. And then lift up your hips and slide those blocks out from underneath of yourself and just set them aside. Make sure you have some space overhead and out to the sides to really stretch your arms out. Now from here, take your legs up to a tabletop position and flex your knees, your toes towards your knees, nice and easy, and then bring your palms up to the sky. Good. And now from here, you're going to open up your left palm and your right palm as you drop your knees over to the right. A little action in the body just to stabilize the navel center, and then come back up to the middle, palms touch, and then take it up and over to the left, opening up the right palm. Good. Just one time active like that. Come back up to the center. And now we're going to open up the knees once again up and over to the right. Grab a block and place it between your knees now so that there's a sense in which you can stabilize and hug through the midline. And now I want you to take your left arm up and over so it's touching your right palm and you're all the way over on your right side. Now from here, I want you to think that you're going to keep your pelvis exactly where it is. Sometimes I like to play with straightening my bottom leg. You can see whichever is most comfortable to you. And now take your left arm and you're going to make a big half circle up and over to the left. Again, I'm not letting my left hip come with me. And then take the left arm back up and over. Do that 2 more times. Big breath. Exhaling as you open. Inhaling and taking that up and over once again. 1 more time, big breath. And rolling that back onto your right side. Now take your left arm in a very similar action, but we're going to make a circle on the floor. So take your left arm, trace the floor in a big half circle all the way open to the left. Big circle all the way back. 2 more times. Trace the floor with your left fingertips, big circle open, and then a big circle back around. 1 more time. Sometimes when there's a lot of intensity or anxiousness, just dropping straight into too deep of a restorative practice can feel not as safe as having some active movement like this. Very good. Let's transition to the other side. Just nice and easy. Roll over onto your left side. And now you're going to stack right palm on top of left. Pardon me, I just need to move this little mic pack. So you're going to take your right hand on top of your left. You're going to square the pelvis off, squeeze the block a little bit, and then take your right arm up and over. Good. Move the right palm back to tap the left hand. And then big reach up, over and open. Good. 1 more time like that. Right hand taps left. And then find that big expansive reach across the chest as the right arm opens. And then back to the midline. Good. Now trace the floor over your head as you circle open and wide. Trace the floor over your head back to the start position. 2 more times. Big sweep. and sweep it back to the center. Last time. And back to center. Really nice. Good. Use your hands and gently bring yourself all the way back up. Set the block aside, and we're going to come to all fours. So from an all fours position, take your hands directly underneath of your shoulders, and then just cat-cow your spine a couple times. Inhaling as the heart comes forward. Exhaling as you round, just putting a little bit of movement through the back. Nice. And then curl your toes under and take a downward facing dog just for a moment. And if you wish, one of the ways that I like to practice this when I'm being a little more restorative is to take a block just underneath of the hairline at the head, and you can straighten the legs today without locking out the knees, and let the density underneath of the head be a real support. So there's a sense here in which it's like I'm thinking about the contents of the mind sort of spilling down the block. You might need to shorten the down dog here for this. A couple more breaths. Really occupy the shape. Last breath here. Nice and easy. Lower down to your knees. And then take 2 blocks and place them across the mat. And if you have a sensitive hip crease, you might need to put a blanket across the blocks like so, just to support yourself. But you're going to bring yourself forward, blocks on their second height. And I'm just going to land that block right into my hip crease. You'll see it fits really, really well in the body. And then you're going to interlace your hands underneath of your chin so the chin is forward. And allow yourself to just rest here in this gentle black bend. The chin allows us to find that same sense of back bend that is down in the pelvis, so there's a real wave through the spine. And we'll stay here for 5 to 10 breaths. Again, really allow yourself to occupy the shape. And tuning to your breathing. And you'll notice that the angle of the pelvis here really allows the in-breath to flow beautifully into the low belly. There's a spaciousness in the back bend that supports the in-breath. And take whatever nourishment you need from the breath and from the shape. Three more breaths. Really nice. Gently walk yourself back up onto your elbows. Walk the knees in and just drop. You can slide the blocks forward a little bit. Just drop the elbows, forearms onto the mat. Let your head sort of hang for a moment. Good. And then nice and easy, walk yourself up and let's set that blanket aside. Have the blocks where you can reach them. Come forward to all fours, up to a downward facing dog, and then walk your feet forward. You can come just part way up the mat. Measure 2 fists between your arches, and then just hang over the legs for a moment. And if you wish, you can play with the height of the blocks. You could put blocks underneath of your head, right under the hairline again for another sense of contact and connection and support here, if you wish. I'm taking opposite palm to opposite elbow. But again, my head is on the blocks, and it might feel good just to have the palms on the floor next to the blocks. A little bend in the knees. 5 full, long breaths. Good. If you have blocks underneath of your head, gently remove them. Walk your feet back to down dog one more time. Lower down to all fours and have a seat on a blanket or on the block. All rest counts. And sometimes the kind of rest that we need is a gentle movement practice like this. Sitting on the block or on the blankets, just flip your palms towards the sky if you need a little more energy, or palms down on the thighs to ground. Drop the chin, lower your gaze just a little bit, and we're just going to take 3 rounds of Ujjayi slow breath to close. So when you're ready, exhale completely, and then inhale for 4 or 6 counts. Hold the breath now, 4 to 6 counts, and exhale 4 to 6 counts. Now stay empty, 4 to 6 counts. And again, breathe in. Little retention. Exhale. Stay empty. One more time, breathe in. Retain the breath. Exhale, let it go. Stay empty. And now let go of the patterning of the breath and just feel the body, the mind. Practice that is so often 1/3 mind, 1/3 body, 1/3 breath. Bring your hands somewhere on your body, giving gratitude for the messages of the body, even when they're uncomfortable. And then when you're ready, just gently welcome yourself back. If you have time, I would recommend a 5 to 10 minute Shavasana. If you need to conclude your practice now, thank you so much for being here. I will see you next time. My name is Selena Garofino. I created my 200-hour self-paced, totally virtual Yoga Alliance accredited teacher training and priced it at just $4.99 because I believe that everyone deserves access to excellence in education. Studying with me live streaming or in person can cost upwards of $2,500, and I want anyone that desires to pursue this path with me to be able to do so at an accessible rate from the comfort of their own home. Inside of this training, you will learn to cue with potency and efficacy. You'll learn to sequence powerfully vinyasa, hatha yoga classes, and so much more. You'll learn the art of adjustments, how to use props effectively and purposefully, not just saying to your students, grab a block if you need to. There are guest lecturers talking about topics like trauma-informed yoga, anti-racism in the yoga space, and so much more. When you're part of this program, you have access to bi-weekly calls with me for as long as you wish. Additionally, I host a special monthly event for all of my students and graduates. You have access to the recordings for as long as you wish. Inside of those classes, we talk about business of yoga. We go into deep pose studies. There's special meditation and asana classes, special storytelling classes, and so much more. Basically, I'm telling you that I've got you even after you graduate the program. We also have a private student forum that is not on social media, so you don't have to log into your Facebook to connect with other learners or to connect with me. If this sounds like something that you are interested in exploring, I invite you to head over to my website or send me a message so we can chat. Excellence in education is yours, and I am here to help you deepen your practice. Whether you just want to really dive into the heart of the yoga tradition or you're ready to take your passion for yoga out into the world, this is for you. And hey, if you're already a teacher, I promise you that there's a ton of information in this course that you didn't access in your 200, and I've got you too. I would love to see you inside of the program. Send me a message if you have any questions, and let's talk. I fucked that.